I appreciate you coming out.
Thanks for having me.
You are, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Antal. I work for Fuego. I'm in the lab there, so making the dabs and the carts and formulating those kinds of things for y'all.
You've been with Fuego for a significant amount of time.
Since the very beginning, yeah.
Yeah, since even before it was Fuego.
One of the OGs, yeah.
So I had you come on because it was we wanted to talk a little bit about the difference between Delta 9 and full spectrum
The full spectrum
oil.
carts, right?
We know there's differences from taste to the process they're made in. What would be like if you were to say three major differences between full spectrum and Delta 9 carts? What would they be?
Well, the one for me that is the real game changer is the cannabis derived terps. So in the full spectrum cart, we're using our terps from the plant rather than a lot of the distillate carts will just have botanically sourced terps, whereas terpenes are in every plant. That's what gives plants their smell. So it's not just cannabis; it's everywhere. So you can get linalool and myrcene and all those things from other plants, but it's a difference when you're taking it from the cannabis plant versus just like any old source where you can find it. And so you're getting that true like flower taste, whereas a lot of times you just get kind of like an overly sweet taste with a distillate cart.
So with a full spectrum cart, you would expect more of a taste closer to like
to the flower
consuming cannabis,
right? Exactly.
So like when we smoke a joint, so like if I was somebody that my priority was having something not necessarily like a starburst, but more like an actual like a green crack, like an OG Kush,
right.
Like an actual strain that I know over the years I can recognize by taste. I would be better off trying full spectrum.
Right. Like, so for example, like the Gushers cart that are out in the shops right now, that's what I've got on my battery, and it's just delicious. I love the taste of it. Like, I'll smoke it even if I don't feel like getting high just for the taste.
Is there a difference in how they test out?
If we're just using like a straight D9 distillate, that's Delta 9 THC is the only cannabinoid group you're going to get. But so with the full spectrum, you're going to be getting things like CBG, CBN, CBC, even THCV has been coming up on our carts. And those are, so obviously we're all familiar with THC as how...
I was about to ask you, what break that one down for us. THCV, something new, I assume?
It's just another cannabinoid grouping. And but that's where you're going to start getting that entourage effect, whereas... when you're just smoking the Delta 9, that's you're only getting that like euphoria, that feeling that we all know from the THC. But with the other ones, it's going to give you sort of a better high, at least I think. It's no, it's not better. I guess it's
so like a different type of effect, a more
exactly.
sought after effect. You would think.
I guess it's all up to you. Like I know because the D9s kind of give you that energetic feeling, it'll wake you up a little bit. But me, I kind of like to go the other way. I'm more of an indica flower smoker, so that's why I prefer the full spectrum carts.
So if someone had high levels of pain, in your opinion, and again, this is just your opinion, do you think the full spectrum would be a better bet?
Yeah, it could, but because THC is where you're going to be getting a lot of that pain relief. But if you're dealing with more like anxiety issues, things like that, the full spectrum is going to be the way to go for you.
Is there any other real differences that you could tell us between the two? As like, say I'm a new consumer to cannabis. Is there one that I should try before I try the other? Are they both worth my try? I mean, again, I'm asking you opinion-based questions just because you're our extractor.
Right.
I want people to know how you would think.
Mm-hmm. Well, the way I like to break it down, I guess, if you're kind of new to it, is the D9 distillate is more sort of like Everclear, right? It's just pure alcohol. There's nothing else in there. So you can drink that and get drunk. But if you want to have kind of more of an experience, you would have like a nice finely aged bourbon. So that's where you're going to get your full spectrum is going to give you that more bourbon experience. Whereas like the D9 distillate is kind of just like that, bam, THC right to the head.
So let's just go a little bit step further here. So if someone's looking for more of the craft experience for their first time, they may want to seek after the full spectrum. If they're looking for the shot straight to the head.
Yeah, like if you just want to get high, get the D9. But yeah, if you want to sit and kind of have a sort of more of a flower experience with your vape cart, then the full spectrum is the way to go.
Well, the full spectrum carts, those are still able to be sativa indica because of the strains that are introduced to them?
Exactly.
So they have a lot of similar characteristics, but they do have some difference too.
Right.
So
Yeah.
people will still get high from the full spectrum
Absolutely. Yeah, that's without question. So if you look at it, it's still going to have the same amount of THC in there. You're just going to be hitting those other cannabinoid groups as well.
That's awesome. So I know I didn't even tell you this, but we're going to talk about this too. I know we've been also, he's like, great, doing more extractions in the lab. People should be expecting to see some new concentrates and stuff coming out.
There's I think they just today a couple new batches went up to packaging, so we've got some really good live THCA sugars coming out, some terp sugars, and I don't know if there's any like the live resin batters, but there should be some of those coming as well.
What is your favorite consistency as an extractor to put
Live
out?
resin batter all day.
So can you describe because I feel like people see stuff labeled all over the fucking world, bro. Explain like in a little bit of detail. Is that like a sappy but still consistent enough to work with? Like what would that describe what that looks like for people who haven't been in a lab? That
batter?
consistency, yeah.
It's almost kind of like I guess like cake frosting is almost a way to look at it. Once you whip
like
that consistency, it'll have like that wet sort of shininess to it. That's from the live terps that you're extracting.
And you like that for the reason of more terpenes are in it?
Yeah, I like the flavors.
So if someone is seeking more of a terpene experience, and they're buying that caliber of live resin, would you think a full spectrum would be more appealing to them?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. If you're a dabber, that's...
Well, with Fuego, we're gonna see different flavors on the full spectrum line and then the Delta 9 line.
Correct, yeah.
So for people that are truly trying to seek an experience, it may be beneficial to even try both.
Yeah, see which ones you like. It's all because everybody's got their own preferences. Like I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, you're dumb if you don't like the full spectrum carts. Like if you try the full spectrum carts, you don't like it, it's not your thing. But
like people compare like live resin, they compare distillate, they compare full spectrum. It's safe to say all those are different categories, correct?
oh yeah,
So if someone tries to loop them all into one, that's incorrect. They're all a different type of experience and product. That's
Right.
safe to say.
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that. Anything else you could tell us that's coming up? I mean, I know we have some THCA you were saying coming up possibly too.
Oh yeah, like a live THCA sugar. So that's going to be where we'll take a lot of the terps out of it. When we separate the
That's
THCA
like the powder,
from the terpene. Exactly,
like
yeah.
a sand almost type material.
Right. Yeah. It
So
kind of
now
looks like beach sand.
That's a high THC product, right? Not so much for the flavor chaser, but for somebody who's just looking for the almost Everclear experience of dabs. Is that almost safe to say?
It is, because it's like you said, there's a lot higher of a ratio of the THCA in there to the terpenes. And like the terpenes are kind of what's going to work with the THCA and what they call the entourage effect. And the more terpenes you have in there, it's going to temper that THCA high a little bit differently.
So from an extractor standpoint, do you enjoy like making all the different ones?
Oh yeah, it's fun.
Look at that little smile I got on his face.
Yeah, I love getting dirty in the lab.
If you're
that's my
an
thing.
entry level consumer, and you're gonna buy a Fuego concentrate, what is the best one to try? Because it sounds like the THCA might be overwhelming.
It could be, yeah. Especially if you're an entry level, I'd say just like that straight live resin batter is going to be the way to go.
And that's going to offer a good flavor experience.
Right. It's more full spectrum, and it's gonna be a little bit lower in THCA than the sugar is for sure.
That's awesome. So I think we're going to do some giveaway, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. You got to remind me now.
You want me to help you out? Or
Yeah,
what?
help me out. How are we doing this?
All right. You want me to just come on there?
No, so what do we? How exactly? You want me to ask the question that you had told me?
Well, is everybody ready in the comments? Let's ask everybody. if
Let's
they're
get
ready in the
everyone ready.
comments.
Get them all ready.
Who's ready?
Antoine, as an extractor,
What is
what's your favorite way to consume cannabis? Like, is it smoking? I mean, I'm sorry, I love having Antoine here. I'm gonna ask him some random questions while we wait. So
No, you know what, man? It's really about my mood, and I kind of go through some changes. But I always love smoking joints. That's my first time ever getting high was smoking a joint. So
yeah, the good old days.
But
Trip down
as
memory
an
lane.
extractor, I love smoking concentrates too, and edibles help me get to sleep. I had terrible insomnia before I started using edibles, and that's been a godsend. Like just being able to get a good night's sleep. So I love my edibles for that, and I just like it.
Edibles are such a unique,
getting
different
high.
experience, man. One of my favorite things for sure is edibles.
It looks like everybody's ready. So
So what
One lucky winner. You want to tell what they're going to win, and then tell them exactly what the question is that they have to answer.
So what are we doing? Are we giving them a dab? We're gonna give them a concentrate. We're gonna get them a cart and then 2 edibles. Is that what we're giving them?
Yep, for Fuego. And then also, one lucky winner is also going to receive that gift bag along with a ticket for themselves and a +1 to attend backstage for filming for podcast.
That's pretty dope. See, that's the benefit of having like a podcast manager. You're
Right.
able to get like refreshments while you're on the show and remember shit you forgot because you smoked too much weed. All right, so people that want to win that, that sounds like a dope experience. We always have sweet food. We always have good smoke. And we usually have some dope people here.
Mm-hmm.
We always do. I'm just playing. What the question we were going to go with, we're good to ask it,
Yep,
was
whoever is the first person to comment this is the winner.
so you wanted them to answer. The question is, you need to name one spot that we stopped in at 420. Can
Yep.
be anywhere from the video. So we'll let them answer that. Tiff will figure that out. Antal, are you a gas or a fruity smoker?
Gas.
Gas. So
Although
one favorite
that
strain
Skittles
from
that you gave me the other day was
Bro,
fire.
pressure
Like, and
pack.
that was-
Shout out
yeah,
House of Dank, dude.
super good.
Whew.
I already burned through that 8, so
I'm actually waiting to hopefully get more of that. The Pressure Pack guys, big shouts out to them, the whole House of Dank crew. They put out some serious fire. We tried the Skittles together.
Yeah.
I wound up getting the apple.
And the winner is...
Oh, look at
there
that.
we go.
I already know that she reposted and that she follows us. Her name is... It's Mary and then Jin 420.
Cool.
Mary
It's
Jin.
Mary Jin
Congratulations, man.
420.
MARIJIN 420. And she said House of Dick.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough at. So, yep.
Shouts
there you
out the
go.
8 Mile
She
House of
started
Dick.
naming more too. She knew all of them.
It's like
Yeah, there
315.
she goes.
She said
Yeah.
jars.
Jars. All the homies. Oh, we got a dance off on Saturday at Jars. If you have a medical card, you should come turn up. There's a rumor that there's
Which
going to
one?
be some homies there dancing with us. Jars West. So the Jars just got a new spot. They had the old Legacy spot, which was the district spot. Now they have a new one. It's down by it's just before 8 Mile and Woodward. It's on the right-hand side of the road,
Okay.
the Detroit side. It's medical card only, but it will be fun. If you have a medical card or a caregiver card, you should absolutely come out. We may even be dancing ourselves. Just saying. So Antal, I was asking you favorite stuff real quick. We can wrap it up with that because I know you don't want to be
yeah.
on here all night with me.
I do like the gas though. I think
I wanted to ask you, what is your legacy strain? If I said Antal, I can bring you one strain back from, it can be your first strain, whatever it was.
Anywhere.
I can bring that back with the magic power of weed. And I could give that to you to smoke forever. What would it be, bro? What would you say, Jake? Give me
probably
that fucking
Northern
shit.
Lights because that was the first
Was it number 5?
Oh, was that NL5? But that was the first kind bud that you smoked. We used to call it kind back in the day, before it was
Kind bud.
Yeah, now because you had to differentiate because that was back when you still had to pick through stems and seeds and whatnot. And then so the first time I got some of that dropped on me, it's like NL5. It just changed the game for me.
Dude, I remember the first time I got this shit called Gams. I was real young smoking. And my boy came through with it. Someone came through with that, bro.
Yeah.
Woo! See, I wasn't as cool as you though, bro. We didn't have the joints. We were smoking out of water bottles and shit.
I've done that before too. Believe me. Or the can, you
One strain that you've had lately that you really enjoy.
I had some punch breath that I really liked, and I obviously probably purple punch in there, but I'm not sure which breath it was crossed with. But it was the punch breath really impressed me lately.
Damn, the light just went out on me.
Okay.
The punch breath, that's always fire. And favorite Fuego edible?
Old school banana split gubby. It's
Definitely.
it's the best flavor. It's the best
You ready
flavor.
for me to have dude? Come on.
Shout out the giveaway.
Ready?
winner.
What-
One time.
what is-
Shout out the giveaway. It's Mary Jin 420.
Mary Jin 420, congrats on winning that. And we look forward to seeing you. That'll be a good time. Antal, I really appreciate you coming
thank you
out.
for having me.
We got another homie about to pop in with us. Are we doing an intermission or he just popping in? He's just popping in? All right, let me just stand up for a minute real quick, man. I miss a funny comment or something.
Oh, there's been plenty of them.
They clowning.
I'll show you later.
They clowning.
Yeah, there's clowning.
Yeah. They clowning on it.
Haters.
Oh, we got haters in it?
Oh, there was 2. No one's counting.
I want to know who Todd is from Choice.
Why?
Don't say that.
Why, you say something?
Look, there's something on there. She saw.
Let me see it. I don't think so. It could have been wrong. Hey, so anyway, we bounce it back in. That's the fun thing about this shit. We don't do no scripts, so that's why you see me be able to just ask people questions. We just run this shit 100. So my man, Just Chocolate, Mike, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that, my memory on today. Welcome to the Blazed Podcast.
Thank you.
We appreciate you coming out. So I see you got some packaging on the table.
Yeah.
Run me through who Just Chocolate is.
Well, I'm one of the few chefs that have been from Alaska to Maine, basically benchmarking, teaching edibles, helping brands develop flavors and consistent shelf-stable edibles. And I'm here to basically share with some edibles with you guys. These are all pectin and gelatin type gummies.
So what's the difference between can you explain
pectin
that?
and gelatin?
Yeah.
Sure. Pectin is non-animal.
So this one's pectin?
Right. So gelatin comes from either pork or beef, and pectin comes from fruits. So it's really for the health conscious person or the vegan person who wants a vegan
with
edible.
acid?
Acid means it's a glazed in acid. So
Bro,
there's
I was about to be so. Bro, I looked at this shit. It says apple pie with acid. I thought I was like, wait a minute, bro. I already ate this shit.
So you know how you make a sour gummy? There's 3 different types of acid you use, whether it's malic, a tartaric, or a citric acid, Jay. So these are just a combination of different acids, and that's why they're like my notes. I wanted you guys to come and check them out, share the brand with Fuego and you guys, and give me your opinion.
How do you come up with a flavor? Like, bro, I feel like I've ate a million fucking gummies. I've never had like an apple pie gummy. Can you walk me through how that flavor comes about?
Because I've been a pastry chef first, so I take that knowledge of pastry and kind of think of something different. Because I've traveled so much, I don't want to do the same raspberry or strawberry or whatever. So I try to do something different, you know. And also to the clients, if you come to me and you say, Michael, I want this, then I'm going to do what, you as the client wants. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's just what the client wants. If the client wants regular, they get regular.
Let's back up.
Okay.
Just back this up. So, how did you get into this? Were you were a chef first?
Always been a pastry chef first.
So walk me through where you were a chef at and when the idea of like let's do weed came up. I just like to get the idea of where you got into the business or life at.
The story, the how.
Yeah.
Oh, simple. When I was an instructor at a culinary college, a student came up to me to help her make edibles for her mother who had breast cancer, and she wanted to help her mom be able ways to medicate without having to smoke. And then that was in 2004. So a light kind of came off in my head as far as, okay, I could probably make a business or a career out of this. Colorado came online in around 2009. So then after 2009, it just came to be more of a consistent venture of helping people make edibles. So I really got into it because a student of mine asked me to help her make edibles.
That's so cool. What did you think when she first asked you? I mean, was there like a moment that you were like you just thought to yourself, like, yes, I've been waiting for this? Like, what happened, bro? Walk me through the day.
No, because, you're in a classroom environment. So when a student asks you after class, you're just kind of like, I was taken back at first. And I was like, okay. And then I've always been a cannabis smoker. So it did totally shock me. So I was just kind of like, yeah, I can do that for you. And then her mom to this day is still alive with stage 3 breast cancer, medicating on THC on a daily basis.
And that was like your first cannabis recipe then, like
yeah,
I'm not
the
gonna say it
old
was yours
school,
because
butter.
she did it, let's say,
No,
but
right.
that was the first one that you mentored, influenced, whatever we want to call it, the word.
Of course, yeah, absolutely, like the old school butter way that you would do.
And what was the product?
Typical brownies.
It was a typical brownie. Was it a special flavor, walnut or anything, or just a brownie?
No, brownies as being a pastry instructor and a student. So yeah, maybe we put fresh vanilla bean in it, walnuts, things like that. But it was just the old school, the old butter technique from back in the day, that kind of way. And, she loved it and figuring out the dosage of the milligrams. That's one of the things I do teach is how do you figure out your dosage? How do you do the math? So I used to travel the country teaching people how to do the math.
Do you find a dosage that the average person, let me rephrase that question.
Yeah.
Is there an average dosage that the average adult use consumer likes? If I was gonna make it edible, let's just pretend, and I was trying, and every state was able to sell it that you've traveled to, what is it 10, is it 5? I mean, what do you think it is? And why?
But for people like you and I, we have a different dosage of what the state allows.
Me would be 400.
Right, so
So
state
let's
allows.
just be real. Like,
But
what would be like, your average, like, you know, and I'm not saying they're not as cool as us or anything like that. I'm just saying your first time average, you know, I'm going to consume a couple times a week. What is the like, if they're not looking to be just blown out, like, what do you think would be the right milligram to make? Is it 5, 10, 15, 20?
I take that on a case-by-case basis of, have you ever medicated? Are you somebody who medicates on a daily basis like I do and like you do? Or are you somebody who's never tried it before? And then I start from there.
So how much does like body characteristics play? Like, let's just take away the whole like how much cannabis I've used aspect.
Okay.
No, like not for me, because I already like, bro, and I don't
You
mean that to
already
be
know.
cocky. I know what I can do. So like for an average person, how do they gauge it? Like if I'm at the store right now and I'm a first time buyer or I'm not an everyday edible buyer, what do you think I'm looking for?
5 milligrams or less, and experiment with that. Absolutely.
And all right, I eat the first 5 milligrams, right? I wait 30 minutes. I'm not happy. Do I just go another one?
No. Wait.
How much longer do I wait?
Wait until as long as it takes until you feel it. Because that is the biggest mistakes new users make is I didn't feel it in a half hour, so I went and had more. And then I have more. And then I had a bad experience. And now I never want to touch edibles again.
So how long can it, is there an amount of time it can take? Like what is the maximum it can take?
I think that goes on your body composition and how much you've eaten throughout the day and when you take that edible.
So eat on an empty stomach or not an empty stomach?
Empty stomach.
Empty stomach.
I medicate first thing in the morning and I'll take 5 milligrams and, you know, what's good for me, like we talked about, isn't always good for everybody. But on an empty stomach, you'll gauge a better consistency with it and you'll know how to react to that.
Okay, so I wake up, I try my 5 milligram piece. Is there anything do I drink water? Do I eat food? Like,
you can drink water and eat food. Yeah.
Is there anything I can do to like make it come on quicker? Is it just gonna do its thing? Like, I'm trying to play the guy who doesn't know to see how you would answer as the chef.
Sugar. Sugar is the easiest processed food. So if you wanted to drink orange juice with it as you medicate,
Orange
that kind
juice.
of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's sugary. Orange juice has sugar in it. You know, you can drink orange juice, soda, things like that, what have you. I've eaten edibles and then had a meal, had bacon and eggs, and then, you know, and still had within that hour, I still felt the effects of, 5, 10 milligrams. But something with sugar because it's easily processed, I would say, to the first time user.
Okay, let's change directions.
Okay.
As a fun thing. What is your favorite infused edible, whatever you want to call it, that you've made? And it doesn't have to be one that's been mass produced. I mean, it can be like you made it for a family, you went over and got invited to be the cook, whatever it is. What has been your favorite food to infuse? And to follow that up, why?
Wow, that's a good question. I don't usually get that one per se.
Yeah, you're on 59 minutes now, though.
No, I don't know. I mean, because what's my favorite one to ever make? Something with chocolate.
Okay.
Something that nobody's ever done. I like doing like infused dinners and the cuisine side of it. I kind of mix it up a little bit. So, maybe like a steak with a nice beurre sauce and some,
So where would the medication be? If you're making a steak, would it be in the sauce?
Yes, always in the sauce. Always in the sauce
would
because
that
you can
be-
dose the sauce easier.
And you dose that 5 milligrams? Is that still, like,
Yes.
what would you,
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely. You figure out, like, if I had a quart of sauce, I would figure out my portions. I would know how to do the math and the oil, add that accordingly, and then I would know each serving would be 5 to 10 milligrams. So doing an infused dinners, it's hard for me to answer. That's a really good question, Jay, because I don't really have a favorite edible. But if it was something that took me out of this norm, it'd be doing cuisine and doing infused dinners.
That'd be awesome. So if someone hears that at home and says, man, I wish I could do that. I wish there was a place I could go to have those. We never see those. So is there a way someone can do that at home? Is there something that someone can buy? Is it simple as buying some distillate? I mean, can they infuse a sauce themselves? Is that something that...
There are so many YouTube videos out there that will show that you can do that, and
So that's not something that would be very hard, I guess, is what I'm
No.
gauging. Someone could try that one at home.
Of course, and all those home kits you can buy, the little magic butter things and all those kind of things that do all of that. So you can do that. You can go down that path as well and do that for yourself. No problem.
What has been some of your favorite brands that you can talk about working on that you've done?
Oh, I like the brands
And
that
they're racing, dude, out there today.
I like the brands that allow me to just show them my creativity and skill and then choose from them. So I had a couple of California clients, Oklahoma, and a couple of people out in Missouri. And that's what I like the most. They don't want the normal, show me what you can do, spend a couple of days making a bunch of items and doing a tasting. Like if, and just tasting what it is I made and being like, okay, I like this, this, and this. That to me is so much better and gratifying. And plus the customer gets that satisfaction of, I really got my money's worth out of this.
So what do you see as the most sought after thing to be made? Like, what do most of your clients decide they want you to make? Like, you said you've worked in Missouri, Maine, fucking all over the world. What do you see an item that comes up? Is it a syrup? Is it a gummy? Is it a chocolate? Like, what is the most common that you think that people want?
The top 3 categories are gummies, chocolate, and then something sugar category like suckers, caramels. And then drinks are kind of coming in that top 3, infused drinks.
Is there a benefit to each one of these 3? From a standpoint of a consumer? Like if I want to buy one of the 3, is there something that's different about them? Or is edible, an edible? The effect, you get what I'm going with this?
You mean like when I
Does
get more
chocolate
medicated from chocolate
Yeah,
better than...
Thank you.
The cannabinoids kind of react better with chocolate. There's lecithin in chocolate, and lecithin will attract more to your CB1 receptors, and that could intensify the medicated experience more. A lot of people, even myself, we do put a little bit of lecithin in the gummy formulation to help that part of it as well, because that will help with a little bit of a quicker onset time. So yeah, I would say it depends between your recipe, not necessarily the edible itself. So
Is there an edible that you think is missing that people aren't making that you go to yourself, why the hell aren't they doing this? That if you don't want to give away your secret or whatever, I get that. I'm just because I'll be honest with you, what I see is like I always tell people I don't get like I know Michigan has really dumb rules on beverages, so you don't see any really beverages. You see the infusers, and you may even see small amounts, but you don't see beverages like you do in like let's say California or other places.
They're coming.
Well, we've said that for a long time.
No, you got to have a GMP licensed facility.
It's a joke. In Michigan, it's coming. It's been a joke. Like,
right?
Hey, Rec in Detroit's coming too. So,
right.
that's where I go with that. Is it's just such a delay, and it's annoying to see because other places, as you've traveled and done, have come on with the drinks.
Yes.
Now, we talked about 5 milligram being the right dosage. Is that the right dosage in a drink?
No, because the consumers are more savvy these days. They're not going to spend $8 to $12 for 5 milligrams. You got to give the consumer their value and their
So are you better making like something where they can grade the amount they put in it?
That or what the state allows you, which in most states it's 10 milligrams.
Per serving. So there's like a line on each bottle of 10. It's not like this bottle's 10 milligrams.
Well, some states do only allow that as well.
Name them real quick. Name one.
Illinois.
And I'm not doubting you. So in Illinois
and California,
this is the maximum you could have would be this size bottle with 10 milligrams of THC in it.
Absolutely.
So I got 400 in my drink, so that's a little over.
Right.
I don't like that rule. I'm trying to better on the way I say things. I dislike that rule. Why? If you could, is there a reason why? Are we talking about people having a bad experience? Is that their worry?
No, we're talking about state lawmakers that just copy what Colorado's done. Everybody just reinvented the Colorado Model J and made it like that. So 10 milligrams is a single serving, 100 milligrams in your whole package. Medical is 200 milligrams divided by, the number of servings, and that's it.
So that would explain why. How big is the beverage market in other states?
It's not, because it's really expensive to get into, and it takes a lot of science and knowledge with that. You're looking at maybe $250,000 investment for the equipment and the science it takes to do that. Because most beverages, you have to nanoparticleize and use nanotechnology in order to have that onset time.
So when they say nano infuse, that's what they're talking about?
Yep.
That's interesting. So, and you can really tell the difference between when it's nano infused and not?
It should be a quicker onset time, yes. In my experience, for me, I've noticed it because I'm more of a smoker than an edible person. I think, again, case-by-case basis, once you try it, you'll notice those effects probably within 30 minutes or so.
Do you do tinctures, or do you have any thoughts on tinctures?
I don't do tinctures because I don't consider that an edible, and that's not what clients ask me to make. I think tinctures are for a lot of people. I think it's different generations and different reasons.
They have their benefits. I wasn't
Right.
even getting into that. I was just saying, like, it's an interesting topic, because if you've looked at cannabis cups over the years, they've always had an argument of, should tinctures be in the edible category? And that's where I was going with that with you.
That's interesting.
As a chef, that's why I was going to ask you what you.
Yeah.
I like to ask different questions, bro. I don't try to go to the normal. I just think it's more fun for us to dig into different topics. So you wouldn't consider, if you were picking, if me and you were sitting here with a list, and I asked you, I said, Chef, I'm going to do the categories. Would you say tincture is its own category? Would you allow it to go in beverages? Like, what would your ruling be on that?
Ooh. Yeah, maybe put tinctures into beverages.
But is that
you
really
bring that
fair?
up.
Because, I mean, let's think about that, bro. And I argue this just to say this back to you. A tincture is going to normally not taste, it has a certain distinct taste. That's not going to compete with Sprite, bro. Sprite,
No.
and these guys are going to blow that right out of the water.
Right.
So it would be hard to compare that, I think, as a category. Like, it's no different than putting, the edibles, the tinctures into the edibles category.
You know what? Now that you bring it up and initiate that dialogue, yeah, that's probably something that could be done. I wouldn't be against it. I wouldn't say no. It's every state's going to take that on a case-by-case basis. And I always refer back to the state because ultimately that's who dictates what we can do.
Isn't that ridiculous? So, if you were, since we went down this road, we're going to keep going down this
Okay.
road. If you were picking anything to do with the cup, would you have actually divided the edible category up between gummies, chocolate? Like,
Yes.
because to me, dude, if we're going to say tinctures aren't the same as pop,
Right.
wouldn't we say gummy is different than chocolate?
Yeah, absolutely. I would. I know they do it for various reasons, but if you think about the brands and what you're doing, sure, once you want to have the best gummy and the best chocolate category or the best caramel category or something like that, or the best drink category.
Yeah,
Right?
I would think so. I mean, we've added hybrid sativa indica.
That's what I was gonna say,
Why would
flowers.
we not give the edible guys the same category? And if you think about it, if you look at a dispensary, bro, they do that. They do it already. They have their gummy category. They have their chocolate category. They've broken it up that way. So you would think that it would be broken up that way, because at the end of the day, I feel like, and you can answer this better, is the person buying a gummy the same person that's going to buy a chocolate? I feel like they're two different people. Am I right to think that, or am I wrong?
I think the person who buys the gummy may move into a chocolate for the special occasion or the special reason. I think people aspire to gummies because of their durability. Put them in your pocket, put them in your bag or your purse, and go with them.
So the guy who buys the gummy, let me rephrase that then, could be open-minded to buy the chocolate, but is not necessarily the chocolate buyer. He may be more than the guy who's not in there buying any edibles.
Correct.
Is that how we're looking at it?
Yeah, because I'm a chocolate guy. I would aspire to look at a different chocolate product first. Whereas like you said,
Because I feel like, bro, I'm a flower smoker, right?
right.
When I hit a dispo, if it's not an infused Fuego pre-roll, if it's not a Hyman pre-roll, if it's not like a local growth pre-roll, and I'm no disrespect to the other brands, there may be good ones, I'm not even wanting to chance it. I want to buy the flower right off the shelf and roll up my own.
Right.
So I think it creates that kind of environment when you do that.
Absolutely.
And I mean, you may be the same way. And what's crazy is in Cali, when we talk about different markets, there's different brands that I have learned I know have good pre-rolls. And it's
Right.
it's interesting to see that. I feel like, I wonder if it'll eventually go that way for like gummies, because there was a higher end gummy for a while, but a lot of people didn't necessarily have their own recipe and are changing the recipe. Do you think there is such thing as a higher end gummy, or is there just a gummy?
I think there's a higher end gummy when you use better ingredients.
Break that down. What are better ingredients? Are we talking vegan, gluten? What is a better gummy?
I think
Hey,
like
shout out to Crown Caps, homie.
the
I'm
best
using his slogan right now.
the best flavors, the best enhancing flavors, like maybe fresh vanilla bean, maybe organic
And gummy.
Right.
So
things from
that's
the
what
pastry
is that
world.
the kind of stuff you had sitting here on the table for
Yeah,
us? So
yeah.
when I see apple pie, that's not some just generic, easy to buy flavoring.
No, that's
It takes effort to make that.
that's a combination of 2 or 3 maybe different flavors at different percentages and doing a bunch of taste testings to get the right mix, and then putting it out.
And then you can choose the grade ingredients you use to make
Oh
this.
yeah, absolutely.
So this could be, and I'm not saying your pricing, bro, but I'm saying this could be as cheap as $5 wholesale or as high as 10, and it really could vary on what you used as a producer inside of it. Are those ingredients that high of a price to affect the wholesale that much? I say that because I know I got a lot of shop friends that see this.
Right.
And it would be kind of, if it is that way, I don't know that, bro. I'm literally
Right.
just a host asking you the questions.
No, like I do some things with fresh purees that maybe pastry chefs will use and fresh vanilla bean, but still when I do the costing and figure out the yield, a gummy doesn't cost more than 5-6 cents, Jay. Without the
So
oil.
the THC, yeah, well, the oil,
Right,
The oil
okay.
in Michigan, the oil go up, down, left,
Right.
right. You know what I mean? It's like entering a cheat code on Mortal Kombat when you watch what it does
Right.
in the fucking market. So, hey, so real talk though. Even if let's just say the gummies cost more, and with cost of import, shipping, whatever. Let's just say there is a way though to the cost difference between a lower end to make a lower end flavor and a higher end flavor really wouldn't be that much, you're saying?
No, because even the standard gummy that if I just did with sugar, syrup, water,
Because I try to make ours taste good,
Gelatin.
so I mean, I know we didn't use, we didn't try to cut the cheap corner, but
Right.
I didn't know that it was that much of a difference. I mean, we didn't, I don't think, ever look at doing the real cheap end. You're saying
Right.
there's really not much of a difference. And the consumer definitely can taste it, you would say?
you could taste the difference in these with like fresh vanilla. Vanilla is a rounding flavor. I take that from my experience in the confectioner industry, and you use that and apply that to
Does
this.
certain flavors cover up the taste of THC better?
Yes, or make it like grape is a terrible flavor. Like I just did grape for a client, and it totally.
You gotta like the taste of medicine, bro.
Oh yeah, it was really medicine-y. Yeah.
It's weird because I had a chat with someone about that, bro. I was like, I asked him, I said, why would you buy the grape? Because it does taste medicine-y.
Right.
And you know what his response to me, you're gonna love this. He said, well, I know the medicine's actually in it. The disbelief, even still in licensed world, is still there. People don't, really, I just don't know if it's actually all that much. It's funny, it's like, really, bro?
Yep.
And I feel like we're at a point where it's not like that. I honestly, I'm a grape. I like grape still. I know
Okay.
that's weird, but that's still one of the flavors I like. So let's jump over to chocolate.
Okay.
I know you helped with Midnight.
Briefly,
I'm
yeah.
gonna say it.
Yeah.
That's cool if you don't have to say it. I love how he prided himself on higher end ingredients. So when you come on and you say that, I'm happy to hear you say that, because I know that if someone gets a consultation from you, they're not going to be told, hey, dude, let's take a cheap cut every corner.
Right.
Like you're priding the product. That's such a cool thing to see. When you do a chocolate product, is it not more important, would you recommend the higher end cost for the chocolates? Because we talked about how gummies not much of a difference in price,
Right.
and it's probably better to go higher. Is chocolate the same forte?
No, you can. There's a drastic difference in a high quality French chocolate or Swiss chocolate than there is in other types of chocolates. It goes back to the client and telling them what they want, educating the client, and just doing some costing for them. This bar may cost 75 cents to make, but this one will cost 50 cents. So,
Does different chocolate cover up the taste of medicine better?
in my experience, milk chocolate kind of, the flavor will come out more. Dark seems to cover it more.
Dark chocolate.
Dark chocolate will cover it more than milk.
Are you familiar with terabytes?
Yeah, I love terabytes.
Okay, so I did a poll versus terabytes versus I think it was actually the Midnight Bar. It wasn't
I saw
the
your
Midnight Bar.
post. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I have like so many ready to post, bro, that I forget
Right.
which ones I
I've
posted.
got a bunch of them in my bag in my house from California.
So when we look at polls on that, I actually had people DM me and say, like, a couple people cried, oh, you shouldn't compare those, they're two different strengths. I did not mean to compare the strength. That's never what I'm comparing. I was comparing the actual taste. And
Right.
a lot of people told me, the Terra, it's like, I only like this flavor, or midnight, I only really like this flavor. Is that, you know, do you think it's because they, and I didn't get to ask them, do you think it's because they taste the medicine in the other flavors, or it's just that's the kind of fruit or whatever the extra is that they like?
Because I'm familiar with the California market and terabytes and what they are, they're two different things. Terabytes are coffee beans, blueberries, or caramels.
So most people don't like the espresso beans that
Right.
I've met, and that's just my
I
opinion.
love them. That's just my
I
thing.
do too. That's what's funny.
Right.
I would eat those
Right.
probably over most of them except the salted caramel. Salted caramel when they came out were my favorite.
Right, they're great.
I just think that was the best one. I don't like the blueberry. Most people gravitate to the blueberry.
Fruit, they think it's healthier.
I feel like it covers the medicine up very well, though. Like it has in Cali, I don't have, you know, it
Right.
has a real blue taste, you know, blueberry taste.
Right,
to it.
right.
And I feel like what Jake did, or you know, you guys did, we can say, was he was really able to home in on the extra flavoring, like chocolate banana. It really blended well. The banana blended into it. The key lime pie, like his flavors all blended so well with
Right.
what they were supposed to be.
Absolutely.
And then the actual, like I'm always a packaging person, bro. His actual packaging was just so on point with what he was doing, like the presentation for what he wanted. And I give props to him for that. That was a great play. Look at me fucking up the rug and shit.
There's been years of research that's been put into his brand, and he prides himself on his packaging, and it has a nice, clean, elegant look to that. And
I
that's what he was
joked with him.
going
I'm like,
for.
we're gonna have to do a collab bar one day. I was like, we gotta do like a Fuego spicy bar or something, bro, together. And he was like, oh, that would be dope, you know?
I'd love him to do like pretzels and potato chips or something like that. Something a little bit really like.
Let's
off
do a
the
hood one,
path,
bro. Let's
you
do
know,
it.
Do something like
Let's
that.
do
So,
potato
yeah.
chips one, bro. I'm down with that.
That sounds so good.
Yeah, just
Let's
something.
do a hood chip, potato chip. I'm
Wrap
down.
chips, wrap
Yes,
chips, something
like
like
wrap
that.
chips.
Like
Yeah,
the red,
you know,
you already know what I was thinking.
wrap chips, something like that. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, big shouts out to the girls at Midnight too that actually work at the at Midnight's facility, you know, inside the Midnight spot.
Oh, that would be Liz and Melissa and
They all came up and
Gerald and
seen me at a
everybody.
shop
Right.
I was at in Jackson and said hello to me. It was awesome. They all pulled up. We took some photos. It was a great time. So moving forward, what would you like to see like be brought in? You like I was telling you about what's missing. Like, are you into pies?
You know, it can be like apple pie and cherry pie and things
Yeah,
like
I see that. Yeah, that's why I literally.
You know, because I wanted to do something different. Instead of coating it in the sugar, I wanted to take graham cracker crumbs and mix the graham cracker crumbs with the sugar, like kind of like Jake does with the key lime bar. And I wanted to coat the gummy in the graham cracker crumbs and make it an apple pie and really give you that three-dimensional kind of, not just a chewy gelatin, but well, now you're getting the graham cracker crumb like an apple pie. You know what I mean?
You know what I think would be real cool? You gave me this real cool idea. So there's a lot of consumption lounges coming, right?
Yeah.
It would be cool if you were able to cook at a consumption lounge for like people in like a judging before new products rolled out. That'd be so cool.
Yeah,
or
that'd
even
be
if it'd be
awesome.
like private cooking events. That'd be, you know, just to add an element to the consumption lounge. Like hopefully somehow that can be petitioned and happen because that would be sweet.
Yeah,
I
I'd
never
like to-
really sat down and chopped it up with an edible chef before, so
No,
you know,
I
get
like
your
that
mind
idea.
racing on some cool things that could happen. What has been your favorite place to make edibles, and why? Is it anything to do with the environment, or is it just the people, or what is it? Where? If I could say you go anywhere and make edibles, where would you be at right
I love
now?
the California vibe, Jay.
You like the
I
California
do.
market?
I do. I
Okay.
like this market too. I think. the
Is it
people-
because it's larger and there's like, what is it about Cali that you like? And don't just say it's Cali. Like give me a couple things. Like what is it, man?
I don't know. I guess maybe because it's an innovative state. They've been doing it since what, 2004, or even no, 1996 in San Francisco with the AIDS epidemic. I mean, they're always progressive. There's something progressive about California. You know, and everything starts out west and then kind of filters its way out here. You know what I mean? And
It does.
I don't know. I just like it's really a lifestyle out there. It really truly is.
Yeah, I feel like
and everything.
cannabis is a lifestyle in general, but you're right.
Right.
Cali's like the homeland of it. You know what I mean?
Right, like all the influencing and the sessions and all the underground sessions and things like that. And
And it's a lot bigger.
You know?
There's so many more people. You know, if you look at the size difference. It's
there's
just.
40 million people in California.
What did you think of Oklahoma?
Oklahoma is just a nice blue collar state. I love the way they just opened it up, let anybody who had the $2,500 to get a license, set up shop. I mean, you've got more dispensaries and operators than some states have put together. So that part of what Oklahoma did, not the bureaucratic nonsense that a lot of other states do, that's kind of like why I like Oklahoma. It gives everybody an opportunity to have business.
Were you able to put out like cookies and stuff like that in Oklahoma? Did you ever do any of the recipes like that out there?
You know, pretty much, I'll be honest with you, standard edibles people ask me to do are chocolate gummies and the sugar category, like caramel, suckers, lollipops.
Why sucker? So when you do a sucker, I haven't seen that many suckers. That's a big market.
I don't know if it's big. It gets complicated because of the process and the molding and depositing. And I guess it all depends on what you want. I mean, again, gummies are the #1 demanded edible. And it's just people when you're a new license holder, people want to aspire to that and make that. They don't want to try something new, right?
Right.
You know, you want to get your brand out there and establish that.
I mean, I've seen people go as far as doing toothpicks, bro. I mean...
Right.
And I don't say it disrespectfully. That's the homie. I'm cool with him.
Right.
And props to him, bro, because when you say people aren't willing to navigate out, that's a different market. You know what I mean? When you call up and you're talking about like, hey, I can't carry another gummy. I can't carry another chocolate. Bro, you're not gonna hear I can't carry another toothpick. Like it's
it's true.
Like it was smart. It's like Jake did with some of his craft flavors.
Right.
And I'm sure you helped with that because you can't just say, oh, I'm only going to carry the cookies and cream. Like, you're not going to say that. There's too many options that are going to appeal to too many people.
Right.
And the choices on the flavor were so smart, bro. And I think that's what people lack out. They don't think some of that stuff through, bro. They just, shoot blind.
Who does 13 flavors? And now we have a 14th flavor with the toasted coconut. So, you got 14 flavors
No, I don't know.
of bars.
Most people do 3, 4, and then they do like bites, and they don't do exactly, they're not able to. And I'm happy for that because copying someone's formula is corny, bro.
Right.
Like, create your own, come up with some kind of ideas of your own, like, do something.
Have some originality. Yeah, absolutely.
What's up, boss?
New car, new day.
Yeah, that thing was beautiful. Shouts out to the new car. Hey, did you, I want to ask you a couple questions about cannabis, just like aside from it, because you would consider yourself someone who's deeply involved in cannabis aside from just cooking, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, are you a fruity or gas smoker?
Ooh, both.
Both. If we had any strain on the table, what would you take?
Oh, God, you're going to hit me with that.
And it can be a legacy strain.
Man.
Just can't say Master Bubba. Just heads up. Has a DQ if he says that.
I like my OGs.
Like a true OG, like a Cali OG?
Yeah.
So where would it be? Break it down. Are we in LA getting it? Are we are we in the Bay? Like where are we?
Yeah, we're in the Bay, West Hollywood.
We're in West Hollywood.
Yeah.
We're at a dispo or are we on the street?
For me, probably a dispo. I like the tourists. I like to play
Dude,
tourists
you
every
see
once
me,
in
I'm
a
in
while.
dispo everywhere. I
Right.
love the
I
love
like
the scene.
I
It's a
play
whole different
tourists when I'm out-
experience.
right.
I still got caregiver homies I grab bags off, so don't let me kid you. But the shops are still like my homies. I want to support what I'm in.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So we're in a shop. We're grabbing an OG.
Yeah, I like to look at the terpene content, and I aspire to things that have like the myrcene, so I know what I could sleep with at night. I know what I could have during the day.
So let's grab 3 bags. What are we grabbing? We're grabbing an OG. What else are we grabbing?
Oh, gee. God. I've had a good thing with Skywalker.
Skywalker's fire.
I like that strain. And I really like the Skittles.
Man, my boy who was just on here before, we were talking about the pressure pack Skittles. If you get a chance, go to House of Dank and grab the HOD Skittles for pressure pack. Fire, dude.
Yeah.
Fire. If you like that true, I think we're talking the same kind of Skittles.
Right.
In the caregiver world, there was some dudes that had some fire ass Skittles too back in the day. So I feel like that's a strain that when it's done right, you get the best bang for your buck.
It's also brands too. Like I know if I go with a certain Cali brand like Alien Labs or Connect.
Alien Labs, shout out the homie.
Right.
That's the homie,
right.
bro.
So I know I'm gonna strive to go to that. If I'm in Vegas, I'm gonna hit up Mike Tyson because honestly, no joke, even though it's a celebrity brand.
You're going to hit up Mike Tyson?
They go great.
Desert Grown's fire in Vegas, I think.
Yeah.
That's my favorite brand out there.
So...
When I go to Cali, bro, I grab Big Al Exotics. I don't even wait.
Okay. All right. There's so many to choose from out there, though, man.
Yeah, but when you grab Gas House packs...
Right.
You know who else? The Backpack Boys always got fire, too. You just got to know the right ones, you know what I mean? like you said, it just there's so many different phenos to a strain.
Right.
If you don't go with the right one, woo. Do you dab?
You know, that's not my day. That's not my go-to. I've done it once. Even Jake asked me to, pack me a dab or whatever. But honestly, I'm real old school. I like flower. I really do. I just stick with the flower.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
You see, and I didn't have a dab. I dab if it's if we got the rig, I'll take dabs. It's
Right,
not really my
right,
thing
right.
either. And I enjoy dabs, but I'd much rather burn joints.
I like
you know what I mean?
like the flavor of the
It's
flower.
just
That's
so
why I
much
smoke
better
it.
of an
Yeah.
experience. Did you see anything that was entered in the cup in Michigan?
No, I only came up here. I've been here for almost a year. July 1st will be a
Been
year
here for a
me.
year. You didn't see the cup, man.
No,
Come on.
I could come up here for that.
No, it's going on right now. The judge kits went out to the public. Anyone could get them. That's why I was just saying I was going to ask if you maybe helped any brands that are entered. I didn't know.
No, not that I know of. No, not for anything like that.
So what's next with you, man? What's the next play for Just Chocolate?
Going out to LA, repeat client.
Back out west.
Los Angeles area, Long Beach area.
New
clients.
project? Old client, but new return client, but
Yes.
new project?
Yes.
So new edible?
Yes.
That's
New
cool.
edibles, new things. Some from some people in the industry, in the music game. I can't say yet, but
No, that's-
when you'll know. But it's a couple of producers that are kind of famous out there. They want their own gummy line. So this guy wants me to make it for him, so he can make it for him. So we're doing that
Some
kind of
big
thing.
things are coming.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you, man.
Yeah, it's cool.
We'll have to stay tuned to your page to see it happen.
I appreciate that. Absolutely.
Anything else you wanted to say while we had you on, man?
No, I appreciate you having me on, Jay, and doing
Always,
everything. It's
man.
cool. It's
We
fun
appreciate
hanging
you
with
coming out, bro.
Yeah.
Can't wait to try some more of the edibles. The flavor been fire. It sounds like if you ever need some stuff, get with him. You heard it with my man Antoine first about the full spectrum versus Delta 9 comparison. Be ready, shops. We got a whole bunch of stuff dropping. It should be next week from full spectrum to Delta 9. Be ready for the Blaze brands they come into. You already know what it is. Stay tuned next week. See what it is.
You already know what it is.